All right, I believe I'm live. Just gonna hop in. Yay, I have friends already. Very nice. Just going to set a couple things up. How are you guys doing this afternoon? How's your day going so far? I'd love for you to put that in the chat. And also, for those who are hopping on, you can put where you're coming from. That would be great too. Sure. Let's make sure we can get the chat going. If you're trying to chat me up and you're not able to. Let's see. Hopefully that works better. All right, so it's almost time to get started. For those who are hopping on, wondering what's going on, my name's Dee. I would love for you to share where you are coming from, where you tuning in from. That would be fantastic. And I can also know if the chat is working. So I'm kind of using you to help me out. So if you could do that, that would be absolutely awesome. Let's see. All right. So I don't know also if you're joining, let me know if you have a mobility wall or if you've been looking into it. And if you have any questions about it and I can possibly hit them, I might talk about them while I'm chatting. But just so I kind of get a heads up, that would be great too. I am obsessed with mobility wall. I didn't realize how stiff and tight I was until I got one. So I know I like to do my research on things and check it out before I buy. So just seeing if anyone has been checking out the mobility wall and if they have like a question that someone who has one could answer. And let me know where you're coming from as well. That would be great. Oh, there we go. All right, so I don't see anybody in the chat. Hopefully that's not because of a technological issue. There is a box. What's that say? There they are. Okay, now I see it. Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Amanda from Philly. I'm across the bridge. Very cool. What up, Chris? Hey, Addison. Hey, Larry. Okay, I can see the chat. You see, I just got you guys are here, so I'm super excited now to share with you mobility wall. So let's get started. It's 1 o'clock somewhere, right? At least my time it is. My name is Dee Bolton. I am a certified personal trainer as well as a certified wellness advisor. One of my specialties is corrective exercise, and I like to help people move better. Like that's what I do every single day. Blessed to get to do that. A lot of my clients are they need more accessibility for when it comes to foam rolling. So when I found Mobility Wall, and I just saw how dynamic it was and how easy it was to use, it was just a no-brainer. So I have tried it from every age level, from my little ones all the way to a 66-year-old person, and everyone loves it. It's very easy to use, and I'm really excited to share with you why Mobility Wall probably needs to go on your Christmas list. I know I said the word, but let's think about it. And it's a really great tool for you to use every single day. And like I said, the whole entire family will enjoy it. So why roll? Why foam roll? What's the whole big deal about the mobility wall? First of all, that's what this is behind my head here. It's in my kids' doorway. I was trying to find a doorway where everyone could see it and me. And as you see, it fits in this doorway. But if I was to take it into my kitchen doorway, which is wider, I can extend and adjust it. So I'm going to show you that really quickly. First, I have the people there. Okay, sorry, there was something else. All right, so how you use it or how you adjust it or put it into the doorway is it has 2 ways to tighten. So if you see, there's right here, you can extend the ends and then you can tighten the inside. So you just place it into the doorway. You want to fit it nice and close. And something I learned is the doorway is not the same size all the way up and down it. So it's not very level. At least my house it isn't. So it's an older house. And then you're going to twist these inside brackets here. And what I really like is there's a locking clip on the side, so you can lock it into place, and then it's not going to move when you're moving. So that's the first step of working with your mobility wall. Now, why are you going to work with the mobility wall? Because we all have issues with our tissues. And I got that from mobility wall, and I was like, show do. Right? We wake up stiff, achy, tight, tender in some places. I'm a very fit person. I move my body every day in some sort of way, and I wake up every morning like, ooh, I felt all that movement the day before. So these are like ways that our body alerts us that we need to roll it out. We need to work it out, and we need to stretch it out and take it from protection mode to performance mode. So I want somebody to share with me in the chat, have you experienced any of these body alerts this month? Stiffness, achiness, tenderness, and tightness. And if you've experienced any of those four, let me know which one. Because the mobility wall will help you with all those things. And the goal basically is for you to get out of that protection mode, which is what these body alerts are. It's protecting your body from further injuring itself or just letting you know, hello, I need some care. And it's taking it into like optimal performance mode. So ideally, when you're using the mobility wall day by day, like you have less aches, you're not as stiff, you're not as tight, and those tender spots, they melt away. And I will show you how you can do that. So anybody? Hey, Dave, how are you? Oh, I'm so glad. I hope this is really helpful to you. Just checking. So I know I've experienced this in the last month. You guys can probably relate. If you guys aren't really chatty, but let me know when's the last time you foam rolled and why haven't you foam rolled if it's been a while. Like movement is a signal of life existing, right? Every living creature in existence on a cellular basis, whether it's plants or animals, needs to move. And if they don't move, things degenerate, they decay, and then eventually die off, right? For a plant, you pick a plant and you cut it, and then it doesn't have that life source anymore, it'll eventually die. It degenerates, it decays, and then it dies. Same thing with our muscles. We're sedentary, we're not doing the things, it eventually degenerates, and that's when we have issues, and they just form more issues, and we're all on a chain. It's all a chain. So when there's a kink in the chain, it all goes off the rails. So I know foam rolling was not my favorite thing to do back in the day until I got a mobility wall, honestly, just because it's just inconvenient on the floor. Like it's awkward as well. Like you're trying to get your arm back, but you're trying to roll back and forth. And it can, if you have limited mobility, it can be hard. Even if you have all the accessibility and mobility in the world, it's challenging to get in those spots. And it's more of a workout than actually a recovery session. So the mobility wall is a movement device that helps you and promotes your self-care. It like makes it really easy. As you see, it took me like 2 minutes to set it up. If it was like fully in, it probably would take me 5 because I'd have to adjust it to whatever the width of the doorway was. But for the most part, it is really simple to set up. And it's an upstanding foam roller that allows you to position yourself so that you can apply pressure and like take your body out of that protection mode and allow you to foam roll better than you could on the ground. So that's why I really love it. And we are always ducking through it because I feel like everybody always has it in the doorway. But you should be foam rolling every single day. Like I say, if you're a morning person, actually, let me ask, are you an achy morning person or evening person? Or do you have no aches at all? Because I know for me, like 8 o'clock hits and I start feeling my hip and my left ankle and my shoulder. And I'm like, ooh, but then like my husband, when he wakes up in the morning, he's like, oh, my lower back. So are you like a morning achy person or are you an evening achy person? I would love to know these things. Let me scroll again. So whichever you are, you have to do it every day. And I say, if you can get a little bit of time in the morning and a little bit of time in the end of the day, that would be great for your body. You promise you would have a much more productive day. You would feel better in your body as you move throughout the day, and then you would rest well if you did it in the evening time. So a lot of people ask me, like, when you're foam rolling, how long should you foam roll? And it should be, I'd say like no, I'm kidding. It should be like 20 to 60 seconds initially. But when you're doing it with the mobility wall, because it's not a chore, because you're not like on the floor trying to work it out, it becomes like a session. And for me, I started off like doing that fast foam rolling, and it feels so good. 2 to 4 minutes can really work. And that's because you're not just statically holding or rolling on the foam roller with the mobility wall. You're doing different techniques, like you're statically holding, or you're doing dynamic moves, or like integrating the moves. So it makes it more like you can actually have like a movement session with the mobility wall than just like a quick foam roll to get the kinks out. So who can feel me with the foam roll to get the kinks out? Does anybody have a particular trouble spot? Because I would love to share with you how mobility wall works from head to toe. Let's see, I just saw something pop up. Oh, why can't I see it? Oh, goodness. All right, there we go. In addition to daily consistent work with mobility wall, you also can start becoming aware of your daily postures and patterns to do holds and contribute to position and imbalances. Totally. Your back is killing you. Lower back, totally going to hit that. So yeah, so Chris said that when you are daily and consistently working with mobility wall, you definitely become more aware of your body. You have body awareness in general. When you're finding the trigger points and working those out, your daily posture definitely improves because you don't have those muscle imbalances that the mobility wall provides. And he was like ahead of my game, but it's all good. I will reiterate that as we go throughout. So I see my back is killing me. I feel you. And your lower back, Larry, too. That is very common in our society. I'm going to start from the head down, and I actually usually start foam rolling from the feet up. But Dr. Mack, if you're on here, I want to shout you out because you gave me like a aha moment when you were doing your your mobility session, and he was like, germs, feet first, and then head. And I was like, oh, never thought about that. So thanks, Dr. Matt. We're going to be going from the head down, and our back is right in between there. I want to start at the neck because I want to share with you the different techniques that mobility wall has. They have 3 different techniques that you can do, and it's a little bit more diverse because with you have a foam roller on the ground, you only have that downward pressure that you can put on it. But when you have the mobility wall, you can actually go upward and inward into the foam roller. So for your lower back and your back, guys, this would be amazing. Instead of having that pressure going downward, like just because of the law of gravity, because it's upward, you can guys actually go upward and then inward into those muscles that are really tender and really tight and really sore. And the foam roller on the floor actually just limits your mobility. It just, you can't be 3-dimensional if you're on the floor. So let me show you some ways for you the techniques, how they're used. So like I said, there's a static massage technique, and I'm going to start with my neck. I promise I'll get to my back, and that upward inward motion. So you want to have this, I like to have it a little bit lower than my shoulders when I'm getting to my neck so that I can squat down so that I can get upward. Let me go in. This side will be better. So I can go upward and inward into the mobility wall. So you're pushing upward, but then you're going inward into that muscle that's tight. I usually have really tight traps. A lot of women have tight traps. Well, I work with a lot of women. I find that they have a lot of tight traps. And I always tell them when they try to get strong, they go right here. And that's what they do all day long. So this is a great way to release those. And so with the static pressure, you're just going to push upward and inward into the mobility wall. But if you were on the floor or if you were on the wall with the ball, you wouldn't be able to get inward into this motion like you can with the mobility wall. So for the static massage technique, you're going to only hold it for 20 to 60 seconds. Or what I prefer is you hold it until your trigger points melt away or they release. And once you feel that release, you understand what I'm talking about. So then you can take this static technique right here, and then you can make it more dynamic by adding movement to it. Also, what you have with the mobility wall are attachments. Let me see if you can see. So I have my magic balls here. So here, I'm going to actually put this, because I'm going to put this at the nape of my neck. And there's a hole that you can put in the middle of the mobility wall, and you're going to press it into there. Now that static, I'm going to place just the little prongs right at the end of my neck, and I can push upward and inward, and I can apply as much pressure as I desire into that space, right? So then when I want to make it more dynamic, I'm just going to nod my head up and down. Adding movement to the release. Again, adding as much pressure as I desire, rather than as much pressure as my body allows on the floor. And I can really go upward and inward into that neck muscles, the scalenes, and all those that are tight, my upper traps, can bring it up to my upper back as well. And again, I have different attachments. I actually like the ball for my upper back. And here, I'll show you how you can integrate movement as well. So you have that static, you find that spot, and it's like, ooh, and you put the pressure in. And then you're going to move. You can go front to back, side to side, up to you. And then you can add movement. Movement that like kind of mimics what you would do. And I know for my forearms, I'll show you what's really great, what I love doing on the mobility wall. You can stretch from side to side. You can turn. So it makes the movement a little bit more dynamic because you're not trying to wrestle a foam roller from coming from underneath you. And you're also getting more range of motion. Yes. So the mobilizing connected joint. So yeah, it makes the integrated movement, allows you to have more range of motion as you release these muscles. So I want to know, with my chatty group here, how much time do you typically spend foam rolling? And if you do you add movement to it? And I'm going to get to the back, guys, I promise. Just asking a few questions, seeing if I can help. Because that's what I found really great about mobility wall, is that those different ways to massage, the different techniques to massage really helps you melt the trigger points away and then add mobility. Mobilizing like the connected joints is great to add mobility to the movement, especially if it's been restricted for so long. I find when people really find that they're able to release those spots, they didn't realize how long it's been restricted. So adding that mobilizing, the integrated movement is a great way to progress them as well. And so back, you're going to lower it. And that's a good, again, moves really quickly, really easily. And I don't know if my wall is going to be even, but you're going to bring it down to your mid back or lower back, depending on, I just saw a back and a lower back. So I'm going to go lower back because I kind of like how you can get into this. And again, you can lock it into place. There's a little lock right here on the side. You have to match up the little keys to it and then push it in. There's other tools that you can use, especially for lower backs, like QL, those really hard to reach places. And so again, you're going to place your body into the doorway. And the way that this is created, it's not going anywhere. It's a great foundation. And it's like I said, you're not wrestling a foam roller on the floor when you're on your back. So that same motion that you would take, and also lower back on the foam roller on the floor, is probably a no-go. But for the mobility wall, you actually can access these without hurting yourself or injuring yourself. So I like to press down and in, and you can bring your back. You can use the door sill as well for balance. So people with limited mobility or limited balance, that's great because they have this foundation as well. And you can, again, make it dynamic, going side to side. You can rock up and down using your legs. It's fantastic for those things. If you add an attachment, I always like to sweep. I like to rock and roll. I say rock and then roll anytime I'm getting into that spot. And then when I find that trigger point, I like to dig in and I like to put that static pressure into it. And you can do that on a mobility wall so much, as you see, it's so much easier than you would if you're on the floor, on your back, looking up, right? So it adds a lot more movement. Also, I know people like to do the lacrosse ball on the wall. How many times do you drop the ball before you actually get that spot? It's not going anywhere. And again, we have these different attachments here. So we have a wider attachment, what I really like as well. It's better than the lacrosse ball. Ooh, and it doesn't go anywhere, as you see. This is not going anywhere. The great thing, I have the smooth roller. There's also a bumpier roller that really gets into that tissue, really moves the fascia around and really disconnects and breaks up stuff. It all depends on your comfort level, which is what I love about mobility wall, because you can do that. You can apply as much pressure as you need. So those gnarly foam rollers that you're like, I can't do those on my calves, it's okay because you can apply a lot less gentler pressure on that than you can if you were doing it on the floor. So that's the different attachments here. Anybody have any questions? So another thing I like is the integrated movement. So I'm going to lower it a little bit down because legs underneath belly buttons for me, for my clients, and my clients that I'm talking about is usually they're double hip replacements, they're double knee replacements. I have about 3 or 4 women who have those mobility issues. So like them getting up and down alone is a challenge. And then asking them to work their quads or their hip flexors, or especially with the one with the double hips, it's really hard for her to do it with the foam roller on the ground. So I want to show you how to do that. And then I'll take questions. And I actually have a giveaway. I want to give away this bag, and how I'm able to, as a personal trainer, share the mobility wall with my clients. If they don't have their own with them, and if I'm with them, then I'm able to take it with me because I have this great travel bag, and it carries all the little attachments in it. I just put it on my back and I bring it in, and I put in their doorway, whatever size doorway they have. And before and after their session, we have a rollout. Yes, if you please let us know where you're from. I'm choosing, by the way, for the travel bag, I'm choosing someone who's been chatting with me. So let me know, give me all your questions. I was really eager to be stumped by a question. So give me a good one. And let me show you how you can use the mobility wall to access your lower limbs. So again, you're going to put this about hip level. I'm going to loosen mine, unlock it first, then loosen. Bring it about to my hip level. And just a slight bit lower. And again, I told you, dorsals are not the same width the whole way. It's so crazy. All right. So we're going to tighten it here, and I'm like back here. Here we go. Tighten it here for you so you can see what I'm doing. And this is really great. So for my clients, even putting it over their leg over the mobility wall might be challenging. So I might put it a little bit lower for them. It all depends on their range of mobility. And again, you're going to be able to apply as much pressure as you desire on things like your hamstrings that can also often be really, really tender, really, really sensitive. You can make it dynamic by twisting. You can flex, bend, and extend your leg to add some integrated movement to it as well. And it just makes foam rolling a lot easier for people who need more accessibility. So I love this tool. It's absolutely amazing. Oh, here's my chatters. There for lower back, you would bring a large ball in the center of the low back. It depends on what you're trying to get. Not in the center, never on your spine. You never foam roll, or you never need, there's no muscles on bones or joints. So that's not where the mobility wall needs to go. This is for your muscles. So I would never put it in the middle of your back. I had that kind of on the side of my back, more towards my lower back. And it also, honestly, it depends on your comfort. Whatever you like, I say do it. Like that's what it's all about. But I would recommend, it depends on the spot that you're trying to get and how comfortable it is to you. So I have the big ball. I usually do the big ball for my hip and use definitely my glutes because I got a big butt. No, I'm kidding. But I do like using the big ball on my glutes just to get in there. And sometimes I use the small one too. I definitely use the small one on my upper traps. So great question. Any more questions? So quads too. I like to, again, making it more dynamic, pushing into the mobility wall, and then begin, because it is in the door sill, it's much more stable, and you can ride up and down, you can kick, and that's why I say it can become a movement session, because after you're going from your neck to all the way down to your calves, and you're doing the static, the dynamic, the integrated, you got a little sweat on, your body's nice and warm, and it's actually released. And it's gone out of that protection mode and it's ready for performance mode, which is what we actually want to be walking in every single day versus tight and stiff. We want to be free flowing and loose and ready to move our bodies. So some amazing things. The reason why I love mobility wall is it fits in the door frame, any door frame. So far, I have not found a door frame it doesn't fit in. I can take it on the go. It's really easy to travel with. It's not very heavy, honestly. For it to be so strong and so stable, it's not very heavy. It makes foam rolling really accessible for all of my clients. Like I said, from little ones all the way to older ones. And it's so much more dynamic than rolling on the floor. And it's so much less awkward. than rolling on the floor. And what I really love is if you're like, I have this tool and I have no idea what to do, you can go on the Mobility Wall app and it's so easy to use. You just click on the body part that you're looking to be released, and then it tells you what to do and you do it. And it just becomes a really great routine of your daily lifestyle. I have a shoulder tendonitis from overusing while surfing due to paddling. Any recommendations for that? It's more deltoid area on the side. Yeah, so you would definitely bring a foam roller up. You can, depending on the attachment that you want, and also your mobility and restriction. So whether you want to keep it at a static and then work your way to a dynamic motion, that's definitely something that you can do. And again, you can put it however tall you are. You can have the attachments there, and you can do motions like you would if you were lifting up. So this is how you would make it more like an integrated motion right here. So you can do that. You can reach out as well, which is really great to get in those spots. And you have that inward, upward, inward movement going on. So you're like digging into that spot versus like laying on top of it and it's kind of immobile. Did that help? Mikhail, hopefully I said your name right. I apologize if I didn't. Awesome. Any other questions? So yeah, I was talking about the guided videos. If that was an issue and you were like, I need to check out my shoulder, then you just click on the shoulders and it gives you static, integrated, and dynamic movements that you can do right on the mobility wall. You can put it anywhere, everywhere, and it's so much fun. So awesome. I'm glad that helped. Any more questions? I'm going to pick a winner for a travel bag, and I'm going to need your information, and I'm going to, mobility wall will have your information, and they're going to send you the travel bag. So let me see. I got Mikhail. I think I said that right. I think she said yes, or they said yes. Larry and Nick. And I don't even know if Dave's here still. Dave and Addison. All right. So I'm definitely going to pick my man Larry here, who's been chatting with me, asked me some great questions. So you are the winner of a travel bag of your own mobility wall. Hopefully you have one. Larry, do you have a mobility wall? I hope you do. If not, definitely get one. My name is Dee Bolton, by the way, for anyone who just caught on late. You can find me everywhere at Faith Fueled Mom. Faith Fueled like gas fueled mom. And yeah, I just help women get strong, women get stronger, and people honor their temple. I'm a faith-based fitness personal trainer, and I just really help people get well from the inside out. So I am so grateful I had this opportunity. Oh yeah, I can still show tricks for the scapular area. Awesome. Larry has the professional version. So now you have a travel bag for it. Mikhail, I can definitely, it's right at the right height for me. I can totally do that. So I actually would do the smaller ball, getting into that scap. And there, again, you can do external rotation with there, really getting into there. Again, you can pinky up, reach up. I would say pinky up, thumb down. So as you're pouring out. Do movements, you can do forward movements, getting into that scap. You can rock side to side if you just want to be basic. You don't even need the attachment. You can definitely do all those things as well. So those are some great ways that you can really get into that scap area. Great for winging, which is often, it's common in younger, it's common in everybody actually. I see it a lot, especially because we're such a forward-facing society. So a lot of that is an imbalance. All right, so Larry, you are the winner, sir. We're going to message you and get your information so that you can be the owner of your own travel bag and take your professional bag and share it with everybody. Hopefully they get one too. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know about the mobility wall. I will still show tricks if anybody has any tricks for me they need me to show. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. No problem, Larry. Thank you again. My name is Dee Bolton, personal trainer, Faith Fueled Mom on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed week. Take care.